Now bring in CNN Royal Commentator Kate Williams live this hour from our London bureau. It's good to have you with us, Kate.
Good to see you.
I'm struck by what I just heard a moment ago, just how raw this is for these young men, just considering how young they were when this happened. This phone call that was their last with their mother.
Yes, George, it's so moving. It's a very moving interview. William and Harry really haven't spoken very much about Diana. Harry spoke a little bit earlier this year, saying he'd been very upset, very devastated by her death, and had gone to counselling as a way of feeling better about life. But this is really very unique, and it's incredibly moving. And as you say, one of the most moving parts is when they say that we were in Balmoral when she was in Paris. We were running around, enjoying ourselves, having fun like two small children did, and when she called up, we just really wanted to get out and play again. So we had these very brief conversations, and both William and Harry separately say how much they regretted that was their last ever conversation with their mother, and they say how much they think about her every day.
One can only imagine what it must have been like for these two young boys when this happened. Let's also talk about the simple fact that as we hear more from these royals, we get a sense, more insight into the relationship that Diana had with her two sons.
We really do, and they talk about her in these incredibly moving terms, talking about her as a mother. Prince Harry there saying how much he felt loved, but also he's been saying how much he still misses her as a mother. She gave him so many hugs. He misses having a mother every day, even though he's a grown man. And it really reflects what an important relationship they had. And what they say particularly is how informal she was. The royal family is a very formal institution. Diana was very informal, always cuddling them. She said they said she was very naughty, used to sneak sweets into their socks at football games, told them to be naughty, used to drive around the roads with them with a radio on at full blast. They said how loved they felt and how informal she was. So she really had this huge impact on their lives, which just made it all the more devastating that she died so young, and when they were so young as well.
We are just starting to hear more of these brothers opening up about their mother here in this year. This documentary will be the most that we've heard from them about this very delicate subject. How might their newly revealed stories, how might they be received among royal watchers and the public at large?
Well, this is the first time we've heard them really talk about it, and William and Harry in particular. And it's very moving to hear William say that he talks about Granny Diana when he's putting George and Charlotte to bed, because they have another grandma who they'll never meet, and of course his wife Catherine never met her either. So it's him who's carrying it on. They will be received with great warmth, with great affection. It is, as you say, George, the anniversary of Diana's death in the 31st of August this year. But also what William and Harry have made very clear is they've said, we're opening up, we're talking about Diana, this is a huge year, we want to remember her positive side, we want to remember the relationship, but after this, we want it to be private once more. So they've said very explicitly, we're not going to do this again. So it's not the beginning of a lot of talk about Diana, this is really their one moment in which they're going to talk about her, and then after that they hope it to remain completely private. So it is a unique moment, and so very moving.
This documentary, very important for many people to watch, but Kate, put it into perspective for us, because 20 years ago, the death of Princess Diana, what did that mean in the United Kingdom, and what did it mean around the world?
The death of Princess Diana was one of the most seismic events that Britain had during the last part of the 20th century. It was the effect on Britain. The whole nation was galvanised by their distress, by missing Diana, and also by their feeling that the Queen and the royal family weren't really reflecting Diana's full excellence, her full contribution, that they were treating her as an outsider. It was a time when the Queen's popularity was at its lowest, because it was felt that she simply didn't care, and that had a huge impact on the royal family, on Britain. And yes, we're 20 years on now, many young people don't remember Diana at all, but still she's had this huge effect on British society in terms of particularly charity, emphasising the importance of Cinderella charities, of not necessarily the most easy ones to get on with. It was AIDS victims, it was cancer victims, it was landmines, and William and Harry have continued that, and also really showing the importance of motherhood, and most of all what the role of women, that she was a princess, she was a wife, but she carved out her own role, and the changes that she instituted in the royal family, and indeed started in society, are still reverberating today.
I know that a lot of people will be watching on for this documentary. Kate Williams live for us in our London bureau. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, George.
American